That was super flat. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jade Monkey. We're back here in Rust. We're talking about the Rust Console Edition, whether it's on the NDA beta, the open beta, or even the full release. This is the 2x3 build that's good for solos, duos, trios, you name it, we got it. This is what it's going to look like in its final form when you're done. Just please note that this is meant to be added onto, and there can definitely be changes made, but this is to help you get started. Especially if it's one of your first builds or you've got a small group and you want to get your feet firmly into an official server and get started. So here we go. Yes, at any point, if you find this useful and helpful, be sure to drop a like. It does help out quite a bit. And again, as soon as this NDA is lifted, we'll be doing this on official servers. And it's super fun. I cannot wait to do it. It's going to be a blast. Again, if you are having a hard time with any of these builds, or we're moving too quickly, be sure to check out my Building Basics guide. I will link that now in the upper right-hand corner. It's going to help you a lot with hard side, soft side, placement, tool cupboard, claiming, all that good stuff. So keep that in mind. It's definitely a nice prelude to this, especially if things don't make sense here. So let me go ahead and kind of float around. This is the same base, but without the honeycomb on top, kind of a cutaway. Sorry, let me go ahead and slow down the camera. Now, I do have deployables inside of here, things like garage doors. I call them roller doors sometimes, and even lockers. Just know that this is going to be built with just stone walls initially. I know we've got the upgrades here, especially over here. This is the same thing, but with different cutaway. And we have deployables, but we will first do this not only in small stages, but we'll build this up with just sheet metal doors, single and double, and no deployables. So no lockers, no roller doors. And then we will add those, and then we will also add these upgrades here, the sheet metal rooftop and the sheet metal wall. That's going to add the raid cost from 20 to, I want to say, was it 33 satchels? It's a lot. So this will definitely get you started and give you ample protection for starting a wipe with a small group, or even yourself if you want to get super heady with it. So let's do it. All right, let me go ahead and reattach. Let's go ahead and do this. Again, we're going to do a lot of these based off of that you've done a build before. You have some base understanding. So let's get in there. I do have a Rust Beta Guides playlist. I will go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. Good things like monument guides, raiding guides, building guides like this. It will help you get started all the way. Okay, so we started with a basic foundation. Again, if you're on an elevation change, try to find the highest point you would think would be for your base and get your bigger log just above that, and then kind of sketch it out if you think maybe you will or won't make it. So keep that in mind. All right, so right away I already messed it up, so we're going to have to delete that. You would have to shoot that out with a bow and arrow, by the way. We're going to stick a wall frame here, switch to the hammer, upgrade this to wood, and all the floors to stone. And I like to tell people to get these up as quickly as possible, as people will be trying to shoot you. If you haven't already experienced it, you know what I'm talking about, or if you have experienced it. Wooden double door opening up towards you, and now a wooden lock. Hold action, make sure it's locked. Do not make a key. Wooden single door, same thing. Wooden lock on the door, hold action, lock it. Do not make a key. The owner can always open the door that places it. Remember that. Keys just leave you open to getting raided. So don't do it. If you've got a group, just have somebody that's dedicated to opening the door. Okay, there's multiple ways to set up this TC. I'm going to use my admin powers and kind of delete one. Here's one where you can place it with the handles facing you towards this opening. That's the easiest way to do it. If you want to fit even more things in there, I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and we're going to do it from this back corner. Hopefully we can do this in the first try and I don't look like an idiot. All right, so handles towards you. Let me just kind of show you the orientation here. We're going to get this back in the corner as far as we can to the left. Now, hopefully I did this right. We're going to stick a couple supplies in here. Obviously, you wouldn't have high-quality metal. That's absurd. And I have super stacks here because I'm admin. You wouldn't have anything nearly that high. This is just to show you the build. All right, we're going to step outside. Boop, boop, boop. We're going to build our scaffolding here. And again, sorry, I know I'm going fast, but I have to because these builds take a hot minute. Making a socket here for this wall so we can then do a triangle wall out here. Now, if we did this correctly, again, holding secondary fire on the building plans and floor triangle, yeah, isn't this weird? You can only do this if you place the tool cupboard first and you place it tight enough, because you see how it overlaps just a little bit? Again, if you don't think you can do it in this configuration, I'm going to go ahead and fly. Do it this way. where the tool cupboard's facing the back like this, because you can see it doesn't clip in there at all. This is the safer way if you're not comfortable with it. It just, putting it out there. Probably made that super confusing. All right, landing. Now what I'm going to do is upgrade that to stone. I'm also going to go over here, place my ceiling tiles, a twig, and now upgrade it by holding the hammer, holding secondary fire, and then I can select stone. Now, we've got some protection here. I'm going to go ahead and place another set of wooden double doors facing towards me. Again, wooden lock, holding action, locking it. Do not make a key. Same thing here. Hold action, make sure it's locked and that you're authorized, and so are your teammates. Now, this is the beauty of this little guy here. You can start just like this. Now, yes, you're still open to being flame rated, but if you're trying to get things down, and as you know, that's a more difficult thing to do when you're playing this game, is making sure that you have things down. It keeps people off your back long enough that you can start to make those upgrades. So that's what it looks like right there. Again, we left these wood because placing things sometimes, like really tight inside of your little shanty, can be a bit easier that way. Because we will upgrade these to stone. If you think you'll forget those, just make them stone, the wooden wall frames here, door frames. Okay, so already you've started your wipe, and let's assume that at some point you've now made your furnace. So let's say you've already started cooking things in your furnace, and you have a couple boxes back here that you'll eventually pick up and move around a bit, but you've got a little bit of breathing room. So you're cooking some metal. You've got that good, because your first order of the day is to make sure that you craft some form of sheet metal door to stop those flame raids and yoke raids, because they are extremely real. If you don't know what I'm talking about, believe me, anybody who's experienced that, please leave a comment down below. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so the next thing here, we're going to bring down these building plans. We're going to make sure we have a square foundation. Now we're going to add the other loot room. So again, making sure soft walls are towards you. Again, the X's, those are soft walls. And if you're still in the cementing phase, you can do things like this, rotate, or even demolish. But after things are cemented, again, you got to raid your own stuff or upgrade it. So we'll say we have this here. And now what we're going to do is create another one of those scaffoldings, or not scaffolding, what do they call them? The half wall connections. So we made a foundation, half wall, now we're going to do a floor. Again, creating a socket for this wall on the interior. Boop, beep, boop. Told you we'd be going fast. I told you. Oh, I should also say we have, if you want to do something a bit smaller, a bit more cheap, I do have a 1x2 guide. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right hand corner. Go check that out if you're a solo player, or even planning on, or have a group and you'd like to make it larger. Your base, but it's a good start. 1x2. Okay, we're going to go up here. If I can actually make the jump, I probably can't. Oh, yeah, I made it. Woo! Okay. Ceiling tile. Hopefully get this in order correctly. And then make that stone. And over here, destroying the scaffolding. Again, if you're ever asking yourself why you don't see the demolish, it's either because you don't have a tool cupboard down, or it's past that cementing phase. Good news is, if it's past the cementing phase with twig, you can shoot it down with standard wooden arrows. Now, I'm going to use my flying abilities here. Now you're looking at a 1x3 with the doorway. This should give you enough protection while you're cooking your metal. This is essentially this segment, and this segment here. I'm going to go ahead and pull away and get up. So you can see this 1x3 section here. This is all upgraded, but this is essentially that inner core, just so you can see what that looks like. And while you kind of compare those, I'm going to take a swig of the old tactical cylinder. Whoop, whoop. Different cutaways, same idea. Now, assuming that you've either recycled your way, whoops, sorry, that was so fast. You've either recycled or smelted enough metal fragments, I'm going to assume that you're starting to replace your standard doors with metal doors, and now code locks if you have a team. Honestly, if you're solo, you really don't need to replace the locks at all. I tell people to take these off the hinges and save these to either recycle or use them as you start to make more doorways. In this case, I'm going to use my admin abilities to speed things up. We're going to delete these outright. You do not have that option as a player unofficial, just letting you know. So let's say we had a sheet metal door immediately. We can then place it here. We can now code lock it. We're just going to do 111. Don't ever make that code. It's a bad idea. You can also assume now that you've got some sort of large box going on. And again, if you don't, you can keep the wood until you can afford a sheet metal door. Just remember, sheet metal doors stop those yoke raids. And then we would also pick this up, but again, I'm just going to delete it. Now that you have metal fragments, you can now make these larger boxes. Now, because this tool cupboard is placed the way it is, I can place a box in the back like so. If not, you would just place it towards you like I did earlier, a second ago. And then we may or may not have to pick these boxes up as we go, but you can kind of see that makes it a bit easier to place. And then if you jump up here, you can place another one in the back like so. Oops, I almost fell off. There's a little trick if you do it like so. You can place, let's assume we picked this up, even though I just deleted it. We can add this here, another triangle, and then we can add, we can place another one of these a bit tighter up there. See that? Watch, but then we probably can't place our double door. I probably should put the double door on first. I think I should have. I think that's going to interfere with it. But it's nice. You can do stuff like this and really pack it in. Then you can replace your, what is this? Furnace. And then put things like a small box in there. Can we even upgrade that? Is that even possible? And then we'll do the sheet metal door to start, just because that's probably more realistic than anything. And then we'll do the deployable. Yeah, see how that works? So maybe you just do it like this for now. But just know, you would have your either roller door placed or a double door. And if you plan on changing it semi-recently, then it probably doesn't matter how you place it. And then as you place your final door, then you would get in here and start placing things all snug. If that made any sense. Aha! Maybe not. Yeah, see, like right now, I'd probably just sloppily place it like this, because I know I'm going to pick them back up when I do the roller doors later. But anyways, you get the right idea. You always want to have the ability to get close and access your tool cupboard, because upkeep is a thing. Okay, onward. And that's why we're going to make this one kind of sloppy. We're going to make this one back to stone, or upgrade it to stone. We're going to kick out the label here, whoops, to the right, and then get it all nice and snug in the back. That's why it's like, yeah, you can make these super compact, but there's a lot of pros and cons that come with it. And some of the cons are it makes it difficult, and you got to resort your stuff, and it gets kind of annoying. Okay, and then we're going to do these little guys here. And yeah, you can do different types of loot rooms, and I'm sure we'll have a video on that soon enough. I'll go ahead and make a link to that now in the upper right-hand corner, even though technically we haven't published it yet, just in case by some off chance. It is published by the time this one comes out. Whoop, whoop. Okay, so now we're going to put... Sorry, I have to move these super stacks. It's a little annoying. I know. I'm sorry. And then we'll have double doors. Like I said, we'll start... Really? I got these stuck? Okay, so we just won't put those in there, but that is how you'll do it eventually once you have a roller door. I really shot myself in the foot by saying we wouldn't do the roller doors right away. Okay, so now this is what this looks like with the upgrades. I'm sorry that was so painful. Now what you do, as soon as you can afford it... All right, you know what? Actually, this is a good point that we bring this up now, that I kind of backtrack a little bit. Once you have your first... What is this? Not tool cupboard. Workbench. Place it here. Either you're going to pick it up or destroy it, right? And in this case, we'll destroy it, and this will become the workbench 3 against this wall, and the workbench 2 will be across this wall to create more protection. But when you want to expand from here, you can place that there. You can place another one of the foundations there. And again, this would be another loot room compartment. If you want to be efficient with it without having to make scaffolding outside, you can place a half wall here and then one here. This loot room is pretty straightforward. Since we have tool cupboard, we can secondary hold fire, demolish. Now we can upgrade, 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 and upgrade. Again, don't go outside with too much loot on you. In this case, go minimal, because expect to be shot in the back. That's just kind of how this game works. Double check to make sure your soft sides are where they should be and hard sides are out. Go here, upgrade this foundation. Hopefully I'm doing this all in the right order. I hope. And then we'll have another double door here. And again, having one on hand. And that code locks are your friend if you've got teammates. Opening the door towards you to create that single pass-through that we love so much. Code lock, and these cost 100 metal fragments per. Keep that in mind. Again, creating this like single pass-through. So if somehow somebody got deep on you even now, they'd have a hard time getting in or even reaching anything. It's always about keeping the cheese off the table. Our rooftop here. Let's go ahead and upgrade this to stone. And then I think it's worthwhile once we finish this to show you what the upkeep cost is even for this. And then we'll show you an exterior view. And then you just kind of keep going from here. You can see how you could very easily, from one player, just a solo man or person, right? Woman, lady, whatever. You could really maintain this. And as you get more ducats, you just keep pushing. All right, what I like to do for these, because it's so fickle in the beginning, which you already saw me struggle with, is I usually just place one of these little small boys in there. And then we just kind of work with that until we've got some of the final form up. And it just gives you enough storage. There's definitely ways to pack in more room here, for sure. And then have this one open towards you again. Just type in a code. Now let's show you that upkeep. It's not bad. 793, totally doable. That's less than one stone node. And 118 metal fragments. Again, no deployables that aren't that are BPs. They're all standard BPs, you know, sheet metal doors, all that good stuff. So we're trying to create the best protection for no BPs to start. All right, let's show you what it looks like on the exterior. Again, hopefully I'm not going too fast, but let me know what your experience has been up to this point. Not only if you're a new player, obviously if it's NDA, just try to talk about just building terms in general, so you're not talking about anything specific. But, you know, tell me how your experience was before you did this or even during. And let me know how it went. And again, we don't have the honeycomb outside like we do here. The honeycomb is represented by the wooden triangles, just to show you a difference. Those would just all be stone with walls and ceiling tiles on top. That shows you how it adds extra protection. Again, this is with the cutaway. And we're now adding onto these two sections this level 2 workbench, this extra loot room we just did, and then we'll be adding the little furnace, a walkout, and then some more honeycomb here with airlocks and such as the next portion. Then as we can afford it, we'll add the extra honeycomb in the exterior here, these wooden triangles. It really beefs up this boy big time. All right. Again, being cautious while you're outside, because remember, it's an official server and it's a dangerous place to live. I'm going to place another one of these foundations here, upgrade this bad boy, and now we're going to start putting, whoopsie, standard doorways. And X is towards you. Those are good. More sheet metal door action. Having it open outward, because these will create these little airlock pockets. And at this point, you should probably have a decent amount of furnaces. Again, the biggest bottleneck for furnaces while doing construction, if you didn't already know, is almost always low grade. So hit those red barrels, smelt that crude at your outpost. Outposts are on every map. They'll be in a different location from server to server, wipe to wipe, because it's procedural, but there is a free schmelty there. So if you're close to that, use it. If not, collect a bunch. Farm up the animals, save that cloth, and make the low grade. There we go. We can place 3 right there. If you keep it nice and snug, you should be able to walk through this door. Maybe I put those in a bit early, but you would definitely have an airlock here first. Let's go ahead and put the ceiling on. Sorry, I have to move around these super stacks. I know it's annoying. I'm trying to go fast. Oh, you know what? We should also say we do have a 2x2 build. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. If that's more your speed, if that's something you think you'll like. You know what? I'm going to have to fly up over here real quick and see what I did for this back corner. Okay, that's what I think it is. All right, all right. Cool, cool, cool. So here's the other kicker. Your jump up is going to be this triangle right here. So again, with a bit of extra materials, it's good to get this laid out sooner than later. Again, because building is so permanent in this game. And then what I do here is if you can't snap this, okay, good example. I can't snap that there easily. You can, but it gets real fickle. Just place some twig and then place your jump up triangle there. And then that'll make it better. And then you can just delete this little guy. Make sure your hard sides are out. And then we'll deal with that here in a minute. Okay, so now this is how you kind of walk out. We're going to create another doorway here. Remember, sheet metal doors cost 4 satchels to blow through if people go the doorway on the raid. So I kind of like to count them off as we go. And roller doors and garage doors, which are a blueprint that you will need to find and research and cost gears to do, cost 9 satchels to get through. and have to be in a door frame. I'm sorry, what are they called? Wall frame. But the preferred way that you will most likely have in your base. Okay, there we go. We're creating this little... You can already see how much this costs as far as sheet metal is concerned, you know. Each door is 150 metal if it's a single door, along with the cold lock. So you've got quite a bill going here. Now, if you don't have a roller door here, just make a swing door on the top. So we're going to go ahead and make this here. Because if you put a swing door down here, you won't be able to get up top. And roof access is very important. It gives you another way to kind of look down on people and get angles on them, but it gives you another exit, as you know, so they can't just... One double barrel man waiting outside your base will make you realize very quickly why multiple exits and entrances are a good thing. And let me go ahead and place this over here, shifting those super stacks. Double doors. Are they 200 a pop? I always forget. Yeah, 200 metal fragments. So they're not cheap. And then what you have here will be your final exit, which I like to make a point and create the standard pass-through triangle action. And yes, there's a lot of airlocks, but that's for good reason. You want people to guess when they're raiding your base, and then when they've committed to a pathway to raid, you want them to kind of like make more guesses for sure, but then waste their precious explosives as they go through it. You want them to make wrong choices, and you want to slow them down. So airlocks will help you do that. And those single pass-through airlocks will stop people from going deep on you if they catch you at the doorway. So basically, if you haven't seen these before, you can't go through here until you close this, and so on and so forth. Actually, maybe should this go out? Maybe. I'm just going to delete it real quick because that's faster for us. Have that go outward into the triangle. And yes, that's a lot of doors, but believe me, you'll be glad you got them. I'll go ahead and break out the camera so you can see what that looks like. Look at that. Nice, eh? Now, if you've got the metal fragments and you are worried about people raiding you, you can upgrade, whoopsie, sorry, I didn't mean to make that so fast. You can upgrade this tile and this tile and this tile to kind of confuse them as to which one's your tool cupboard. But most likely you want to do the honeycomb on top first, like this, these little half walls, and then do the upgrades as needed. Let me show you what that looks like over here. I hope I'm not going too fast. See how we have the metal tiles here, and then the stone? Because you never want to show that you've got metal fragments, or I'm sorry, sheet metal walls. It shows a sign of wealth, as it were. So you just want to be careful. I like to hide it with poor people materials, which is stone. Alright, so assuming we have enough stone to do so, let's go back inside and start that honeycomb. Again, if you're super worried about it, a quick way to do it is to slap up metal on the top when you need to. In a rare case, you might just upgrade that to metal if you're super worried about it, but for the most case, you're going to do stuff like this, half wall, and you're just going to start building honeycomb. Again, it's important to make sure the soft sides are in these little squares, like so, so the X is facing towards you. Half walls are cool, but they cost the same as normal walls, so keep that in mind. So this is still going to cost you 300 stone bones to get you going. So again, this is a good time to bring up modifications that you can do. Like right here, sorry, I'm flying. You don't necessarily have to do this half wall setup. You can make a whole nother secondary floor, and that can be your honeycomb. And in that case, I would strongly recommend that you make your floors metal at that point. Possibly even high quality when you can afford it. But this is kind of good because it keeps it small enough, and then you can still add your secondary floor, and then you have even more protection. So again, if you want to go small and you can't afford it, do something like this first, right? And then I'll show you a configuration for your... Because remember, this whole side here is your, your core. So then you would, if you're on the cheap for stone, because it can be quite a battle, right? Because you'll find very quickly that on an official server, everybody's fighting for the resources, and it's a beautiful thing. That's why you would upgrade this side first, your top section first. Trying to do this as fast as I can. Like this. So now each wall costs what? 10 satchels per? Each stone wall will cost 10 satchels. So you're creating a 20 satchel scenario. And then if I... Okay, so I just placed it, so now I can rotate it. Remember, cementing phase is a thing. I want to say it's 5 minutes. I could be totally wrong on that. I think it's anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes after you place it. So it's important to kind of like keep things twig and upgrade them as you need them, but only do them when you need to. You'll see, you'll make your first base one time and go, I had a good base going, and then I built myself in a corner, and then I had to raid my way out. So yeah, as long as it's still setting, you can rotate things. Now, you can, if the cementing phase is over, you can rotate only if you've upgraded it. So it only works by spending more cheese. It's kind of crazy, right? So you can already see right now, it's all stone. Nobody knows that there's metal, even though we've only done it one spot. It kind of makes the base an odd shape down here on the ground. And if you're still trying to get more stone, you can see that this will buy you more of that time. We go ahead and fly so you can see what that looks like. See? And now we'll go inside and start to upgrade the metal pieces. Not bad, eh? Eh? Just want to do it on the ground as much as possible. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I count this right? 6 and 7 on either side. So that's 35 satchels. Good luck on guessing that one. Right? Is that right? 35? Do we have 7? 735? I gotta double check. Why am I so bad at basic math? I don't know. What did I say? 7 and 4. Jeez, I can't do math. It's 28. Oh, I'm glad I checked. Man, I would have sounded like an idiot. So again, if you're worried about raids, now that you have that outside, you can do things like this. So people can't really shortcut the raid on you. And assuming that we have a roller door here that you can take this off. And you would take the door off. I'm just going to use my admin powers so we save a bit of time. We're going to upgrade this here, but you could take these doors off to finish this. Or if you have a garage door, you could just jump up on there and finish it off. But now you've got I'm going to admin here. You've got 10 here, and now 23 there. So that's 33 satchels. Same coming down from the top. It's still going to be 10. And then this one's going to be 23. So that's 33 satchels. Yikes. So it's still cheaper to go this way, but it's 28 satchels. Do you see what I mean? And even though they get to the last section here, they still got to make a 50-50 on where your TC is. And if you want to kind of help stop the shortcuts that could happen, you can upgrade stuff like this. And then I like to leave these stone because it gives you the option to knock this out later if you want to make this into a wall frame like a garage door. Because garage doors are not 4 satchels, they're 9. Alright, so let's add the last piece outside. Did we add our extra? Okay, good, right there. Let's add our extra set of honeycomb. And then we'll show you what this looks like with deployables. And then we'll be pretty close to getting this thing done. We're going to jump upstairs. I hope the raid broke down. Made sense. Oh, yeah, by the way, we do have a raid guide. I'll go ahead and link that now in the upper right-hand corner. It will help you do even more of the breakdown. All right, so we're going to create the honeycomb for this top section. Again, always making sure that you're doing the right thing at the right time. Check your resources. Check how much things cost before you do it, and then potentially what the upkeep is. Remember, as things get larger, the upkeep cost does increase based off the percentage of the size. So that's more stone. Again, keeping things very legit. Stone is a nice, solid resource. Remember, stone does not have to be processed. It can just be used outright. Things like metal and high quality are great, but they are rare, and they do take time and more resources to process. You should use them sparingly whenever you can. We'll show you what this costs, and then we'll go in with the garage doors. And then you can already see how much this is going to up it. And if you add a secondary floor, it's going to become even more fortified. Then you can start to do very creative things with the spaces in between the honeycomb. You can create a wraparound that comes outside, create more of like a drop box for you as you come through, and it kind of hides more of the core structured shape, so people will have a harder time guessing as to what's going on inside. And that's ideal. Again, you want them to waste time and resources whenever you can. No base is indestructible, but you can certainly confuse people with it. I don't even know how far we've gone with this one. It's probably been a minute or two. Probably. Let me show you what this looks like with the roller boys. Man, I cannot tell you. I am... Or I can tell you. I am beyond excited to be playing this with PlayStation and Xbox at the same time. It's going to be so sick. Alright, so I'm going to detach so you can see what this looks like. Our final form has been achieved. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Oh, sorry. I got to... Look at that. It's just the right size and irregular enough. And you can make choices with this. You can slowly add onto it. You can even move the tool cupboard around. If you really wanted to, instead of having it here in this square, you can have it the one over. You could even move it all the way back here if you wanted to. They keep people guessing. So if other people watch this, by you adding your little touches to it and making changes is going to make it that much more fortified. Because it's still a huge investment to raid this. So unless you've really ticked off a large Zerg, probably good. Alright, so let's say, let's check the cost real quick. Just so you know what this looks like. And again, this is no BPs at the moment, and you've got processed materials. Ooh, you know what? At this point, you would have enough to do this. Again, with these, if you can't destroy them or pick them up, I'm sorry, if you can't pick them up, these can become part of your fortification. So this is enough that it would be kind of nice to have here. And then if you had something like a workbench, oh man, I'm going to spawn one of these bad boys. You do not have access to these that you just saw. You would destroy your own tool cupboard or pick it up. I'm sorry, workbench, and pick it up. But this level 3, just be aware that on the right hand side has a lot of extra bulk, and if it overlaps with doors, it'll be hard to replace if somebody were to raid one of those doors. So I like to put it against the back wall, right? And as far as left and right, leave it a little bit of room. Put it against the back wall and pull it up just a little bit towards the crease. So again, if this back wall gets destroyed, let me show you what this looks like. It won't be as hard for you to put a replacement back up. Because when it's really close to the wall, it'll block the way you placing another wall, for the same reason with the garage doors. Alright, soft side, we're good. Okay, so let's say you were lucky enough to get... Oh, wait, we gotta check the cost. We'll get there. Okay, for this base with maximum coverage, we're talking about a 28 to a 33 satchel raid. We're looking at 3,500 stone, so 3.5 nodes, and 454 metal fragments. Less than 1,000. Less than a 500. So that's more than doable, especially if you're hitting recycles, you know, at mining outposts and whatnot. Ooh, you know what? We got a video on that too. I'll go ahead and link that now. In the upper right hand corner. Mining outposts are good for recycling. Oh, bam, there's one right there. Alright, so now let's say you're lucky enough to finally get a garage door BP. You've learned it. You're progressed. Let's do some hypotheticals here. Again, ooh, did I do it? I think I did. I think the box blocked it. Oh, thank goodness. I was like, if that's a level 3, you're going to be hurting if you got to raid your own level 3. Look at the HP on this thing. It hurts. It hurts. And then we'll knock this out. So already it goes from 4 satchels to one of those sheet metal doors, because double doors are the same as sheet metal. These are now 9 apiece. Ouch. Also, I don't know if we said this earlier, but if you leave this stone, the only time you really need to make this higher is if you put an armored door on here, and that's literally the only thing that'll fit here. Or if you want to soft side pick this with a metal pickaxe, again, it would be up here somewhere. And it would take roughly 7. Even if you repair them, you can pick this out. It just takes a lot of time. But this is kind of good, because if you do get rich enough to find a door, an armored door, this one's kind of a nice stopgap. And it stops splash in most cases, and it has this side effect of stopping people from running in, especially if they've blown out half your walls here or something. So it's nice. It's not bad, but again, you can change this halfway through if you want to. And again, as you have these roller doors, hang on to your gears. They are most important. as they really equate to base defense. That's the way I look at it. So you would have picked up these doors, obviously, and then you would have to pick this up to place this. Not destroy it. You can't do that. You're not an admin. This is official. Come on, Jade. You're crazy. Then we replace that. So now we're looking at what? I'm going to have the calculator out because I messed up my count last time. 1, 2. So that's 18 plus 4. Plus 4. Plus 4 plus 4. So we're looking at 34? Did I say that right? Did we do this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20. Yes, 38, 38, 34 on the doors. Ooh, and there's 33 in the walls, roughly, give or take, if I can do math. And if you're lucky enough, you can place one of these lockers right here. These are really good for setting up your kits, walking in and out. Just make sure it's really snug against the wall. It's nice. I like to put a defense kit, different types of harvesting kits here, because this creates a nice area for you to come in and drop things off and then go right back out and keep farming. Yes, things are a bit tight in here, but it works. And I'm going to place one here, making this more fortified if somebody decides to come in by the roof. And again, if you're lucky enough to have a shotgun trap, this is kind of a nice failsafe too. People have to jump down and get clipped. But you can see right here, you've got the swing doors for access. You can definitely add a secondary floor if you want to. And you've got all kinds of defense. And a 2x3, right? Tell me that's not great. Alright, so if you found it useful, be sure to drop a like if you haven't already. And if you're not already subscribed, consider if you think that's something you would watch. And a huge thanks to everybody that's already subscribed with those notifications turned on. And I hope I see you guys in the beta and the full release in the Rust Console Edition. And I hope this helps out either you or your entire group through the entire wipe. And I'd love to know what kind of variations you guys make on this in the future. And hopefully we'll see you in the next video / live stream. Yeah? Alright, love you. Bye! Let's show what this one looks like, right? Nice and slow. Yes.